Okay, so everyone, we're here with Teddy this afternoon for have a conversation. Teddy's one of our star students in our nutrition program, and it's a pleasure to have her on here and have a conversation. So I'd like to start by asking you, Teddy, really if you could just give us a little picture of like where you were before you started, working with myself, working with Karen, and you started coming into our program, where you were at health-wise, fitness-wise, what was going on in your life.
Okay. I want to go back a few years back, and I don't really remember the year, but the short part of it is that I experienced a lot of physical pain on my upper body, my arms, and my shoulders, and my fingertips, and I just couldn't get dressed. That forced me to retire from work
Mm,
because of the pain, and the doctors could not find what was wrong with me. They ran all the tests, and the only one that came positive was an elevated CRP,
mm,
and they assumed that I have rheumatoid arthritis.
mhm,
So for several years, I was treated with strong medication for rheumatoid arthritis, and it did not help.
mhm.
And it was medication that I needed to consult with my eye doctor because it could leave me blind,
Wow.
and the liver.
Wow.
At some point, I really got tired of it, and the doctor was pushing me different medication, and just the warnings like make sure you don't double up because it's a poison and
Wow.
it can kill you. I had met a Chinese medicine doctor on an online conference, and I tracked him down. And actually, he happened to be local from Swampscott,
Mhm,
and he's working out in near California right now. And I told him exactly what I was feeling,
mhm,
and we had a couple of consultations over the phone. He also asked me about the medication,
mhm,
and he recommended to take mega doses of antioxidants.
mhm.
And he named a number of them. And I took them all and put everything in order, and I was taking them um, on time. And some of them were hot, like hot pepper
Mhm,
was
mhm.
one of them.
Right.
Um, 3 weeks into it, the pain started subsiding.
Wow.
I'm calling my rheumatologist, and I said to him that I don't think I need that much. Cut it in half. He says, cut it in half. Nothing happened. And then eventually I said, I'll stop them altogether. And
Mhm,
he said, are you sure? And I said, yes, I'm sure.
mhm.
He says, just let me know if you want to start them.
Wow.
So I stopped them, and I never went back to it.
Wow. That's great. Yeah. Amazing.
And and I think that prompted me to uh, pay attention to the nutrition
Mhm.
piece,
Sure.
what to eat, when to eat. But at the same time, I am overweight. I'm still overweight,
Mhm.
and I couldn't figure out how to make this weight fall off
Mhm.
because I was not eating very much. Uh,
Right.
but what happened since I started with Karen,
Right.
it's actually before Karen was with you to
Correct.
the
Right.
sugar
Mhm.
detox.
Right. That's right. That's how you first began.
And it was difficult
Right.
to stop eating sugar,
Yeah. It's
or
it's
stop eating foods that have sugar.
yep. It's
And
addictive.
I did the second 21 days,
Hmm.
and even though it was tough, I could feel the changes in my digestive system.
Right.
And along with that, it was easier in the long run. It was easier to cut down sugar than bread.
Right.
But now, like almost with Karen, it's going to be almost a year with it.
Right.
Um, I have no problem with not having bread. I
Hmm.
have no problem having no sugar.
Right.
Um, but I need, so I'm trying to fine tune what works and what doesn't work. I'm in a very, very close. What is the program says, a body scan? I
Hmm.
do a body scan all the time and
Right.
pay
Check.
attention to what I eat and how it's processed
Right.
and what works and what doesn't.
Right.
And part of the issue with me for not having the results that a healthy person will have, and when I say healthy, I have poliomuscular disease,
Right.
and my system is compromised with the uh, low immune.
Hmm.
Uh, so if I keep up that for about a week, then I become anemic. I am a blood donor,
Uh-huh.
and my blood goes down.
Right.
So I have to eat, and then when I eat, it challenges my weight loss regimen. So now I'm trying to find the balance between the two.
Right. Right. Excellent.
But but looking back,
Hmm.
um, my health has improved more than 100%. I
Wow.
feel physically stronger.
Hmm.
Uh, I have mental clarity. My head is clear.
Right.
I do not, when I get up in the morning, I don't say, oh, do I have to get now and go to work and do all this? I feel very alert.
Hmm.
And I like that piece. And I have this kind of an appetite of life. Like I
Right.
am this at the end of this month, I'm going to be 72. And I feel like I'm in my 30s.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Fantastic. Yeah.
for everything, like I make changes in my house. I like to dress a little better, and
Mm.
part of it is also I have nice clothes and I cannot wear them because of the overweight. So
Right.
now, even though the scale does not show as much, but I lost about one size down, which is great.
Right. Yeah.
So now that became a lifestyle.
Hmm.
You cannot do it any other way
Right.
other than incorporate it to your daily life.
Hmm.
Now, the challenge is, dealing with other people, going to lunch or having them over.
Right.
So it's my personal commitment to iron that out,
Hmm.
to find strategies so I will not eat. And I started saying no. But
Right.
you know what it is. Everything is around food, and people look at you differently when you say you're not going to have lunch or you're not going to have breakfast.
Right.
I,
Right. Right.
See, the other piece I want to point out is that I used to have breakfast.
Hmm.
Breakfast was my regimen for most of my life,
Hmm.
and I thought that is the best thing to have.
Right.
And then when I got into the intermittent fasting,
Right.
I I'm not hungry, but in the morning, like I will have hot water with a lemon in it,
Hmm.
and it feels like my stomach is being healed
Correct. Right.
with
Right.
that. And I would go like late lunch being my breakfast,
Hmm.
or I would have one meal a day.
Right.
But the interesting thing is that I'm not hungry.
Right. Right. That's the amazing part. Was that when you start to make these changes and work it out, you realize that how much food you consumed before because you're out of habit almost. And we don't realize when you start to realize what you listen to your body, like you mentioned, listening to your body's needs and getting in touch with your body, like we call it the body scan, right? We talk about that in the programs to really start connecting and what's happening with the food I'm eating, right?
But it is something that you have to prepare mentally, and
Hmm.
it's a curve.
Right.
It's definitely a big curve to
Hmm.
go through this, and I do have a lot of ways to go,
Hmm.
but I'm not going back.
Right. Right. That's the important thing, obviously,
Yeah.
obviously, because you had been really struggling for a long time with weight, isn't that right?
Yes, I did try Weight Watchers.
Mhm.
I tried other programs.
Mhm.
It's just it got too cumbersome
Mhm.
to do everything that to keep up with that. With this one,
Right.
I would eat, and I love this part because you eat real food.
Right.
You stop when you're hungry, and
Right.
you know what's the interesting thing? Last in November,
Mhm.
I had my physical with my doctor,
Right.
and my cholesterol was 194,
Okay.
which was high.
Mhm.
Usually my cholesterol, I don't know, I guess it goes with the weight. It was 140 at some point.
Mhm.
And then I got more serious about that as I go along. And this month, earlier this month, I had my blood work done,
Mm,
and my cholesterol went down to 175.
that's going
And
down.
I did not stop eating fats.
Right, you don't have that's obviously a big point of what we make in there is that the
Yes,
fats and the cholesterol you eat actually does not affect the cholesterol
right,
on your blood results. And that's anybody that says the cholesterol you eat affects your blood results is just well behind on the research. It's even the American Heart Association has taken eggs off of their cholesterol raising list. So it just not that information is just not out there the way it should be, you know.
right. Well, and also people have heard the same information for so many years.
Hmm.
It's part of their habit and part of their
Hmm.
what they eat, and they're not going to change.
Hmm.
So that's why.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyhow, the
Yeah.
other thing about this, Mike, is um, everyone is different,
Right.
uh, and everybody has to find their normal and how their body reacts. And by now, I'm learning how my body reacts,
Hmm.
which is not the same with other people.
Right. That's right.
And that body scan helps a
Hmm.
great deal
Right.
to
Right.
be in tune with what's going on with you.
Hmm. For sure. Yeah.
So a lot of times I speak with Karen,
Right.
and the weight does not drop off as quickly as I wanted it to,
Right.
but I get very tired
Mm.
because of my muscular
Right.
weaknesses. I work a lot of hours because of my circumstances,
Mm.
and I don't have time to go to the gym to
Right.
work out. I do more stretching, but I still lose. I don't lose as fast.
Right.
Now waiting for the hot weather, so I'll be able to go outside and do more of that because I feel now my body feels it.
Right.
Before it did, before it would drag me into the couch. Now it kicks me out.
Yeah, well, that's obviously amazing, amazing feeling. So you've been really a great example, in our program, because like you say, everyone works at different paces. Some people will
Right.
go quicker, some people go slower, but what we're always looking for is to find that the pace that's right for you, and the one that's right for you is the one that's maintainable, right? So I think
Exactly.
as when you're communicating with Karen and she's trying to dial that in, what's that pace and working through the messaging back and forth through the system, right? And doing the lessons on a
Right.
regular basis. One reinforces the next. So did you, what was like, if you think about any like particular turning points as you went through it, did anything stand out besides the body scan or as you went through
I,
like,
I think even before that,
mhm,
what I started feeling was energy, more
mhm,
energetic.
right.
The lethargy that I felt before has gone.
Hmm.
And then I felt my waist getting a little thinner
Hmm.
without too much effort.
Right.
And that was really like, wow, why didn't I have to come up onto it before earlier in my life?
Right. Right. So it was a surprise you actually could actually eat the foods that you still enjoyed to eat, and once you got sort of past that over that addictive stage, if you will, over that initial hump, then
Right.
it got very easy.
Yeah, it's just the energy. The two most important things that stood out very quickly was the energy and the clear. The brain fog is
Hmm.
gone.
Right. Right.
Even if I'm tired, my brain is alert.
Hmm.
That's the most amazing thing.
Oh, really? So even when you're physically tired, especially because of the extra, stress your
Right,
body's under, but, right? It's you still have that mental alertness, and
right.
you can go on for the day. That's fantastic. So what's your as you look forward to the what are you thinking about your next step, so to speak? What are you thinking? What are you going to be able to do now that you couldn't do, 6 months ago?
Well, I think, of course, I want to continue because it will be pointless. It will
Right.
be a disservice to myself not to.
Right.
Uh, it will continue to reach my weight loss, and I have no idea what my goal is.
Right.
I'll learn when I get there.
Right.
But I want to. My body aches for the working out. I was working out in a gym
Mhm.
since 1980s.
Right.
So my body has been trained for many, many years. And
Mhm.
even though now it's out of shape, and of course my muscles would not firm up like other people's muscles,
Right.
I know that the body remembers. And if I get into a routine in the working out, I
Mm,
think I'm going to feel a lot better. I mean,
right.
I tell you, when I go to the doctors and they give me a sheet
Mm,
to complete to check out what are the ailments,
mm.
and I leave it blank, they think I forgot it.
Really?
So I'm not. My age does not have all the ailments other people have in their 70s.
All the ailments, yeah. So
Yeah.
are your doctors sort of surprised at the progress you've made over the last year or so of what you've
Yes.
accomplished? Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Definitely.
They don't expect it from people,
No,
right?
and then I have my doctor wants to check with me every 6 months, so
Hmm.
I'll see her in 6 months, and she says, why don't we put down that like by that time you lose maybe about 7 pounds,
Hmm.
and so okay, that's fine. I want to
Okay.
surprise her and myself that it will
Right.
be more.
Hmm.
So yes, it is, and I tell you, sometimes people have a hard time believing me, but I say that's okay.
Right. Yeah, that's terrific.
But
That's terrific. Well,
well,
really,
go
mhm.
ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening. Yeah.
Over the years, actually, it was in the fall.
Hmm.
Um, a friend of mine who I met in college is Costa Rican, so she went back to Costa Rica and she came for a visit.
Hmm.
And she wants to lose weight.
Right.
And I mentioned the sugar detox and the intermittent fasting,
Right.
and she got into it.
Hmm.
And I spoke with her not too long. When I spoke to her, I think after the holidays,
Right.
and she told me like she lost 4 pounds, and she
Right.
says, "Wow, that's not a lot, but I'm losing weight."
That's right. Right. When you apply these strategies that we use, and again, we use them in different ways for different people. Intermittent fasting can mean a certain spacing between meals. It can mean one meal a day. There's really an infinite, almost infinite combination. And
Right.
when we help you dial in and find which one that works for you, it's something that people think they can't do when they first hear. But I could never skip a meal. I could never, miss a meal. But when you start employing these tactics and these strategies, it becomes very doable, and right, you're sort of you surprise yourself almost
I,
at
I, I
how
think
good you
this
feel.
is
Mm.
I think this is the most important thing that people need to understand, and they don't. I guess it's difficult to understand where we came from
Mhm.
regarding nutrition, and that we didn't have. When I was growing up in a village in Greece, we didn't have those meals.
Right,
Uh, we had if we had meat once a week, that would be a miracle.
right. That's that's the Mediterranean diet. That's
All
actually
right.
what they people talking about. The real Mediterranean diet was actually meat on a weekly basis. It wasn't the carb heavy, pastas and breads as much. It was things were much more balanced, and but balanced from a traditional ancestral point of view. More
Right.
healthy meats, more fats, more
Right.
proteins, right?
When I was coming home from school
Mm.
and my mother wanted to give me a snack, I wanted to eat something. Of course,
Right.
there wasn't much, so she would give me a piece of bread,
Mm.
put a little bit of oil on it,
Right.
and let me go out in the yard and I will pick on the scallion leaf.
Right. Right.
So it was the most delicious snack I would have.
Right, right. Yes, there's a whole science to that now. People that study, in fact, where you're from ancestrally, as you more return to your ancestral diet, meaning where your actual ancestors are from. Not talking about paleo per se, but talking about ancestral, looking at your
Right.
previous generations. Your genetics, you do carry the genetics forward, the epigenetics that carry from generations back. Absolutely, you'll get back in sync, and you actually restore your body's natural health and natural systems, from your heritage. So eating in that way is very, very, like we're doing now, very healthful.
It's an amazing feeling to feel that the well-being, and
Mm.
I'm going to think about how to describe it so people can get it. It's
Yeah.
just right now I have no words.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good enough. That's perfect. All right. Well, Teddy, well, thank you so much. It's been really a
Oh,
pleasure speaking. It's like it's a joy working with you, and hope we get to see you.
thank
We'll see you
you.
in
You
the
will.
gym.
I
Yeah.
need to get my cardio up.
What is it?
I need to get my cardio exercise
Cardio,
up.
yeah. Well, we've have you doing some stuff. I mean, I know we've sent you some things to do, even from sitting and from just from
Right.
where you are at home, because you always, even when we add in the movement part, we always start from where a person is.
Right.
Just like when we start with nutrition, we start from where a person is, and we build
Yeah.
up from there. So absolutely, it's a tremendous amount of potential, and yeah, you still have yet surprises to come, even for yourself, to what you can
Yes.
accomplish.
Yeah, I'm going to share them with you
Yeah,
as we go along.
fantastic, Teddy.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
the
Thank you
opportunity.
so much. Excellent. Okay, so we'll
Yeah.
chat
I'll
soon.
see you soon
Okay,
at the club. Yeah.
great.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.